Okay, we've got some amazing black bean brownies coming your way, courtesy of Nick Pinault and Jen Gauvin. This is an amazing recipe. It's so simple to make, and it's so delicious. There's no garbage in it, so enjoy this to the fullest. So you're gonna need a food processor and some other things that we have in front of us. So I'm gonna actually reduce the size of the recipe a little bit, just because I don't have enough black beans to make 1.5 cups. But I have about 3/4 of a cup, and we're gonna put that in there. I'm gonna use 2 eggs, which I will beat into this bowl and whisk in preparation for their entry into the food processor. Now with baking, you generally wanna follow the recipe fairly closely. It's one of those things where if you start messing around with the ingredients and not following it, it doesn't really work out that well. So I'm gonna be looking at my iPhone here, which has the exact steps. I'm gonna modify it a little bit because obviously I don't have the full amount of black beans, so I'm using 2 eggs instead of 3. And I'll use about 1/8 of a cup of cacao powder, okay? So this is about, in this cup is about, I'd say that's almost half a cup. So we'll use a little bit of cacao powder. And again, if you go too much on that, no big deal, right? We're gonna also melt some coconut butter, or coconut oil. So we're looking at, I'm gonna melt about that much, and then that's gonna go right into our concoction in the food processor. So that's gonna take maybe a minute. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla extract into here. We'll add a touch of stevia for a little bit of sweetness. Go with 3 little drops. We'll add a little pinch of salt. You know, when you're baking, salt is actually really good because it helps bring the flavors, bring the sweetness out without having a lot of sweetness in there. And I think that's about it. So we're gonna add, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with this once the coconut oil is ready to go, which is just about there. And we're gonna beat it up, we're gonna blend it all together, bring it together, then we're gonna move the eggs, fold it into there, and then we're gonna finish off by adding a couple of chocolate chips into there. We don't wanna do the chocolate chips too early so that they all blend all together and lose their chunkiness. So I would say that's just about good. So you can see that the butter is melted, the coconut oil has melted. That's what it does when the temperature is a little bit warmer. And we'll just add that in. Okay, so now we're going to process this. And now I'm going to start adding in my eggs. Now this food processor, actually we broke it, so we can't actually let it sit because this thing has to be pressed down like that. So I can't let it sit and do its thing. But I will just kind of fold this in. And we'll continue our food processing journey. Oh, looking good, looking good. Whoops. Gonna finish off by adding in, so these are Camino Fair Trade chocolate chips. They're semi-sweet, so they're not fully bittersweet or not fully milk chocolate. And I'm gonna use about half a handful. Not go too crazy on them. Let's have a little taste. Pretty good. I may say so myself. Okay, and that's about it. We don't want to do it anymore, otherwise those chocolate chips become chocolate pudding. No. So now we are going to take a oven dish, and I wish I could lick this, but there's raw eggs, so I mean you could, but I wouldn't recommend it. And we're gonna just pour this all out into the baking dish, and hopefully through the magic of television everything works out as it should. Now I just need to find my spatula. Now if there's anywhere that you can, make mistakes, it's definitely in the baking side of things. So we have the oven at 350. It's ready to receive the brownie concoction. Whether or not the brownie concoction will cooperate is yet to be determined, but I do believe it should work out. I am optimistic. Okay, so that is ready to go. And there's a little bit more in there. Can't waste the chocolate, right? Gotta get it in. Get to your home. Okay. So I'm just gonna double check that we have everything we need. There we go, okay. So what we're gonna do now is we are just gonna place this in the oven. The oven is at 350. We're gonna put this in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we are going to take it back out and let it sit for about 10 minutes before we fully enjoy it, okay? Okay, so I have got a little eager, so I went to the oven, got it out. It's been sitting here for a couple minutes and I've been patiently waiting to let it cool down. So we have our black bean brownies. They're in this little dish. Obviously this is a smaller serving size than what's in your cookbook recipe, but nonetheless, it's the same thing. So ideally you want to let it cool for about 10 minutes. I'm not gonna wait that long because I really enjoy a healthy dessert. So I'm gonna cut into this and let's see how this turned out. I'm just gonna cut a little square. And there we go. That's actually very hot, so I'm not even gonna bother biting into that. But as you can see, it took 20 minutes in the oven, 5 minutes to cool, took us a couple minutes in the food processor ahead of time, and there's 3 drops of stevia in this. If you feel you need a bit more sweetness to it, you can add a little bit more next time. Black beans, raw cacao, and just awesome ingredients that are full of antioxidants, good fiber in the black beans, good carbohydrates in the black beans as well. And the one thing I will mention is that if you get any kind of gassiness and bloating, it's probably from the black beans. It happens sometimes. If it happens to you, don't worry about it. That's probably the black beans. But if that's an issue, you can just forego this recipe and I'll show you some other really cool desserts. But let's see if I can give this a shot. Very nice. I would probably add a little bit more sweetness in there because it's a little bit bitter right now. But you know, if you add that in with some, let's say raspberries or some strawberries, a beautiful, nice little dessert that you can enjoy after dinner or at any point of the day without spiking your blood sugar. So give it a shot. Thanks to Nick and Jen for the recipe and hope you enjoy it.